Wet conditions add a little bit of spice to cornering on road bikes. So coming up are some things that you need to bear in mind to help you navigate turns safely in the wet. Lowering your tyre pressure increases the surface area of the tyre that's in contact with the road, giving you more grip, which is a good thing when it comes to wet roads because wet roads are more slippery. So if I'm setting out on a ride and the roads are already damp, then I will knock at least 10 to 15 psi pressure out of my tyres. Now, the type of tyre that you're using can also play a big part. Although, funny enough, on road bike tyres actually, tread pattern is not really an issue, and that's because the speed that we're going and the narrowness of the tyre means that we're never really ever going to be aquaplaning. But what is an issue is tyre compound. So whilst most good quality tyres will have similar levels of grip in the dry, there can be a big disparity between manufacturers in the wet, and that is down to tyre compound. Then we'll also talk about tyre width as well, because it goes back to that previous point about the contact patch. A wider tyre will give you a greater contact patch with the road than a narrow tyre, and it will also, remember, allow you to drop the pressure even further. So the difference between a 25 and a 28mm tyre can be quite significant. You could drop the pressure probably by about 20 psi, so if you normally run 90 on your 25s, you could probably get away with 70 on your 28s. And actually, if I let you into a little secret here, despite being 72 kilos, I'm running 50 psi on my 28mm tyres at the moment, and it feels amazing and very grippy. If the level of grip on asphalt or tarmac is lessened in the wet, then it's almost non-existent on other surfaces like drain covers or also white lines. Now, you should always look ahead when cornering or descending so that you can find the right line, but it's even more important in the wet so that you can avoid crossing such surfaces. And if you can't avoid them at all, then just make sure that you straighten the bike up just momentarily as you do go over them, and that way you'll lessen your chances of actually slipping out. Now, unless you're running discs, you are going to have to bear in mind that braking takes longer in the wet on rim brakes. And even if you are using disc brakes, to be fair, as we've already mentioned, there is simply less traction on wet roads. So slowing down will always take a bit of extra time. To remedy this, what you need to do then is just start braking a little bit earlier for corners to allow you to slow down to the appropriate speed in time. And a great little tip actually, if you are using rim brakes, is to drag the brakes even before you want to slow down, and that'll keep the rim surface free of water so that when you need them, they're going to become more effective. Now, an added thing to bear in mind is that while it's always important to be able to slow down quickly, it's even more important to do it for corners, because you really want to avoid turning and braking at the same time, because that will really push your luck when it comes to traction. And then also remember, as well as actually not braking corners, you certainly can't lean the bike over as far as well. Again, coming back to that all important point that there's just less grip available for your tyres. Now, a final small but still significant point, and that is that if you're riding in a group in the wet, just give yourself a little bit more room behind the rider in front. And that's because if they make a hash of a corner, you'll give yourself a little bit more time to react and hopefully avoid meeting the same fate. It'll also mean you get better visibility as well, because you'll be away from the spray from their back wheel. And the same is true actually not just from riding with other riders on bikes, but also if you're commuting to work, give yourself a little bit more room behind cars as well. So make sure you do your braking early, certainly before you actually start turning, and that you can't lean the bike over quite as far. Give yourself a little bit more room when riding in a group, and try and avoid those extra slippery surfaces like drain covers and white lines. Then when it comes to your equipment, let a bit of pressure out your tyres, and if you've got the choice, run slightly wider ones with the grippiest compound that you can find. Now, do make sure you subscribe to GCN before leaving this video. To do that, just click on the globe. And if you want some more content, we've got some special wet weather videos as well for you. Click down there for top 10 wet weather riding tips, and for here, how to dress for wet weather riding.